something, something different.
It's like we've been putting a time machine to August 2023.
Like I've seen that mirror before.
Seen that
I've seen that
graduation there. You've seen that
bear
comment.
before. I've seen that face before.
Have you? Don't know about
No. Anyway, um, if you would like to introduce yourself as the new co-host of the Glass Table, the floor is yours.
that. Well, we've replaced that bloke that was in America. I don't know what he was on about. He knew fucking nothing about footy. So we've replaced him with someone that's back here and actually knows what they're talking about sometimes. In saying that, I actually watched the most footy that I've watched in a long time this weekend. So, can come on.
If anyone's wondering and can't see the joke that's happening right now, Jared's back.
Yes. However, your room isn't how it looked in like August last year. So there's at least something's different still because you've swapped around the Rocky post is still there. So, while things change, many stay the same. So still wins, but
No, I just if that Rocky poster left, people would complain.
people would complain. There'd be a lot of complaints. It was like
There
those
is.
episodes last year where you had a different background because you were like house sitting and stuff like that, and everyone was like, "What's going on?"
I sometimes I do it out in the kitchen area just because different feel and no,
No, gotta have the Rocky post in the background.
if the Rocky poster's not in there, it's
Staple of the
not the
pair.
pair.
Yeah, it's a staple of the pair, is what it is.
What do you think about the first word that comes to mind when someone says the pair? Oh, Rocky.
Rocky, that Rocky poster.
Not my opinions on football or the glass table or anything like that. Fucking Rocky poster in the back. You know what, Jared? If that got taken off or fell off, I think it would make a certain noise.
Something like something like glass smashing.
Would it be something like this?
That's the play of the game. That is the play of the game.
The impossible angle, and he puts it through, and Portland.
Danger, 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 danger. Butler, 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 Butler. Get around him. Get around him.
Edge of the seat.
Alrighty. Episode 48,
I was going to
7.
48, but
Well, if it's a draw, it's 70, it's 47 and a half. So depends on how you feel about it.
we'll take it. The over under is 47 and a half. I don't know which one it is. So we just get it.
It
Take one.
depends what you want to count from this show.
Yes,
I
exactly.
know there's certain episodes that we don't count, but anyway. How are you, Jared? Welcome back. It's good to have you.
I know, I'm great. I am back. However, I'm still on Vegas time, so it's currently 3 a.m. in my brain right now, and I am exhausted. But in saying that though, it makes it feel like a normal Sunday because the Sundays that we had last year, you were hungover and I was tired, and right now I'm exhausted and you're hungover. So it's all coming back to us. It's not that hard. We're all back to normal.
I felt like the training wheels came off again.
Hmm.
And I was just, you know, kept it consistent, kept it to what I know. It's like a pre-game ritual. Like you sit there, you do your things. You put your left sock on before your right sock, your shorts on, your warm-up top, whatever you do pre-game. Like this is what I do. This is what you do.
Get hammered on a Saturday and then roll in Sunday hungover, and I sleep like shit every day and roll in very tired on a Sunday night.
It's natural causes, really.
It's just there. The nature is healing.
I feel like 2024 has just brought me back to, yeah, this moment right now. I'm cherishing it because it's normal.
We're
You're
back.
also sore, and I'm also sore. So there's
Footy.
that.
We were back to playing footy this weekend. Well, I mean, you've been playing footy for the last couple of weekends, but I was back playing footy this weekend. So we're back to literally back to what we had last year. The formula is just complete now. We're all back to what we needed.
Scientists are now comfortable because they have the formula to
Yeah.
create what is the glass table. And I will just say that was fucking smooth.
How do we, yeah, that was unreal. Talk about segues. That was fucking just wow.
It's
Beautiful.
not segueing into anything. It's
No, it's just a good smooth transition into the
just
rest of
gonna
it.
that'll be the clip for this week's promo.
Yeah, I was gonna say the promo. Yeah. So
Oh, I'll edit that up later. Anyway, do you want to talk about how you went in your first game back? Because I think people like that segment when they can talk about their local footy and how well they went. And from what I've heard in certain words in a certain message, you went pretty well.
Well, firstly, I've never been sore after a football game in my life.
Yeah.
Didn't do a lot of cardio while I was over in Vegas. Went to the gym enough times to keep myself relatively fit. Didn't do any cardio though. So, struggled big time. First 5 minutes blew up. Like, yeah, blew up big time in the first 5 minutes. But I ended up playing all right in the end, which was good. Kicked a goal in the last when we it's like that Chris Paul meme that like people might know it. It's the Chris Paul meme where it's like Chris Paul hits a massive shot to cut the lead to 42. It was Jay Thomas snaps truly to cut the lead to 64. Like it was just we were getting fucking smashed and I kicked the goal and I gave it the what for. I did the bit of this one. But no, played all right, got smashed though, and now I feel like shit, and it's probably gonna take me a week to recover.
It's the best part about it, really.
Man, not looking forward to if I go to training this week. I'm just
There's
like,
certain so I've received a few emails from people around your club.
of course you have, yeah.
So I like to go researching and digging. My shovels are quite good. Certain nickname that's rolling around at the moment is it's not Sam Reid. I think it's Harley Reid is rolling around at the moment. Is that right? Is that because of the goal or
Let's say the goal, right? I literally said this last night sitting at the pub, right? In my head, what happened when I kicked that goal was ball's come to the front of the pack. I've scooped it up one hand. Someone's going to tackle. I've put the fend off, run a couple more steps, snap truly. It's gone through. Crowd's gone wild, right? What I think actually happened. Ball's come off the front of the pack. I've fumbled my way to it. A guy's got to tackle me. I've just smacked his hand out the way. And then I've just snapped and it's just trickled over the line. I think that's what's actually happened. But in my head, it was fucking pick it up. I'm like slam the guy to the ground, keep running, Sam Pepper 45 out, just smack. So I don't actually know. And I would love if anyone had any footage, but nobody does. So
we can all picture it in our minds.
however, you do have footage of a goal that you kicked on the weekend. So how did you play, son?
Undeservingly, I was best on ground.
Undeserving in air quotes, everybody.
Well, speaking, if you watch the game back, yeah. But there's a check in my hand and everything. That's all good and happy days. We kicked a couple of snags. We lost by 4 points, which was nowhere near as bad as your 70, but we lost by 4 points. I kicked a couple late, like threw me up forward, and whilst I like playing forward because every time I seem to go up there, I kick snags.
A couple.
Yeah. Just Stephen May about me with that.
Don't want to fucking talk about that dick.
Yeah. I did give it one of these, But no, I kicked a snag, 45 out, snap, and our 45 at the Oval was probably 25
I was
meters.
gonna say a crisp 30.
The camera angle doesn't do it justice, and I do have it, and I may edit it in here right now, but yeah, I don't think I will. I could, but
You already did the hand motion. You may as well put it in
but yeah, no, I was all right. Did I think dislocate my shoulder out and back in, but it was my good one too, the right one. And it's not a great feeling.
No, it never would be.
Especially when you're trying to tackle some 4'5" ranger. Like it's
Not the day.
yeah. It popped back in. It's just sore. Right now if there's a cushion right underneath the arm. I'm moving one-handed. So the left hand's going to get a nice working out over the course of the next few days because the right arm can't. You fucking sick fuck.
Sorry, like
Everything
my brain reacted before any of the rest of you reacted. No, just like wow. Yeah.
How low do you think of me?
No, it's just my brain is just wired that way now. But yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, so we get into stupid section.
Oh, he's done it.
No, we're not doing that yet.
That's later. But for those that like, obviously, like they ought to be aware, but before we were trying to obviously set up the recording and the internet wasn't working. And the internet starts working and Ant gives it a big fist pump. And as soon as he puts his shot up, he's like, ah, fuck. It just got straight back down. So that's setting the tone, setting the tone for what this episode's gonna be, which is us. If we move wrong, we're fucked.
Yeah, there's a very good. You could be if you like drawing silhouettes. This is the perfect opportunity to
there's
paint
not
you.
going to be a lot of movement in this one.
Paint me
Next
like
to
one of your
Saul.
French girls.
Yeah, my next to Saul, and I want to move. Like I think this is my area.
People can see the Rocky posters, so it's fine. It's all good. Let's just get straight into things because I have nothing else to talk about.
Talk about our own footy. That's all we need to see it.
That's all I really wanted to do, really.
Exactly.
Harley Reid and I don't know, I guess if you want to. No, we won't throw nicknames out for me because there's too many. So
Charlotte,
power ranking. With the two strappings, right? Because I had my right arm strapped and the left arm strapped. A bit of Chris Judd about it.
It's a pretty nice comparison to be holding yourself to. Just one of the greatest AFL players of all time, Chris Judd.
Similar hairlines. Where all the power comes from. Speaking of power, top 5 power rankings we're going to do.
Yes, we are.
And that was another smooth transition, but that's all right. I'll acknowledge my own work, Jared. It's fun. You just ease your way back into it. So a few weeks ago after round 5, we did our power rankings, which I can read out because I have them here.
Fuck, these are not going to look good. These are going to be some bad viewing, I feel.
I didn't write yours down, apparently, but anyway, we'll go through it. I'm pretty sure I can remember majority of yours. You had Sydney in there somewhere. I didn't, apparently. I had Geelong number 1, the Giants number 2, Port 3, Carlton 4. I had Freo in there.
Yep.
I think you had Sydney, GWS around there. Brisbane was around the mark.
Brisbane, Blues, and someone.
Didn't have Port in there, you prick. But anyway.
No, I did have Port in there.
No, you didn't. I reckon you had them 6th.
No, I had Port. I definitely had Port because I had Melbourne 6th. Oh man, now we're right.
Definitely was recorded. But anyway, we shall start with yours.
Yes.
Who is we'll go 5, 5, 4, 4. We'll do that. So who's your number 5?
This one is probably controversial, right? But if we're talking power rankings, if we're talking form teams of the competition right now, teams that you would want to strap a rocket to and get on their back, you have to put them in 5 purely for their last 3 weeks alone. Hawthorn. All right.
I rate it.
The Hawthorn Hawks, right, had a big win today. So they beat the Lions today at Marvel. Firstly, Lions cannot beat Hawthorn, it's hilarious. And Lions cannot win at Marvel, also hilarious. Really funny to me. They just can't do either of those things. But they've had a huge couple of weeks. They beat us, obviously. That's not a feat, but they beat us. They beat Brisbane. And they got within a point of Port, even then they probably should have beat Port, and then they managed to choke it away. So Hawks have had a very good few weeks, and that's why I've snuck him into my number 5, even though they're very low on the ladder, or lower than the rest. They've earned their way into my top 5 this week.
People will know we're not really going through the rounds anymore because we can't be bothered.
It's not a lot of footy.
No, and we rather talk about serious issues. So that's why we're doing power rankings. Number 5 for me, GWS. I think they were going to drop out.
Yes.
But because they bet the Cats at the Cattery, which it's very funny that they now lose 2 in a row down there. One just was the Port as well. Just throw that in there.
Remind us.
But yeah, I don't know. They had a lean couple of weeks, but I don't think they were too bad in those. I mean, the Dogs loss was pretty crappy, but yeah, I think they're tracking okay. And that win on the weekend will definitely get them going, I think. Yes. So yeah, number 4.
Yes. Well, I mean I'm just on the Giants quickly. Their last few weeks have kicked them out of my top 5, so they're not gonna feature in this one because I didn't like what they were doing. The Giants, to be completely honest with you, and the win, yes, they had a good win, but not quite enough yet. My number 4 is the reigning premiers, the Collingwood Magpies. They have found their way back into a lot of form recently, and they look pretty damn good. They had a game against Freo on the weekend, which obviously ended in a draw, which is hilarious again. But around that, they've played good footy. They're holding it up to the good sides. Freo is a decent side this year. So I've gone with the Pies because you can never count them out. Never ever count them out.
Yeah, they were, and I'll just say they are also my number four. So same wavelength there. But yeah, Collingwood, fantastic. They're in fourth. They're settling in nicely. Who's your number three?
My number three is the Port Adelaide Football Club. Had a very good few weeks, as we know. They've been very consistently good all year. Even without, I think, not like their stars not performing, because that's not the right way of saying it. But like, I think to this point of the year, people thought that like Rosie and Butters would be like carrying this lineup, and they're still good, absolutely no doubt. But they're not like putting the whole team on their back, you know. Like Rosie isn't having the year that he had last year. They're having a lot of players play beyond what people expected them. Like Wines is playing a lot better than they thought he was going to play. Boak is still turning back the clock. They're having a sort of wider range of players playing good footy. So it's like they are kind of carrying the team as a whole, which I think has helped them a lot this year. I saw a thing today, like right before we started recording, that Jace Burgoyne had statistically his best game of all time yesterday, which is astonishing. But like they're having like these players that are just making their ways up. So it's not relying on just Butters and Rosie to do everything. Like they're actually having quite a big team impact, and they are, yeah, it's working for them. They're very good, and I think they're third. So yeah, third in my power rankings, third in the ladder. Very well done.
Yeah, same as me. I have them third, and I completely agree with your point of view because you mentioned the likes of Burgoyne, Boak, Wines. Obviously, Jason Horne-Francis has probably been the best of the lot. Butters has been good during the period that Rosie hasn't been in there, and I think even you go all the way back to the showdown, even though we didn't play well in the showdown, statistically we should have won that game.
Yeah,
we haven't been off. I think the only game this year that we've been off is the second half against Collingwood. Other than that, I think you're right. Consistency, and I have dealt with false hope with Port for the last how many years.
Of course.
I just think they're timing their run a little bit better than the old, let's get 13 wins in a row between rounds 4 and 17, or finishing a prelim after winning however many games and then get knocked out. Like I think they've mentally have figured out how to time a run.
Yes, absolutely.
But then again, I look at a game like last week against Hawthorn where I wanted to slit their throats.
They timed that run pretty well.
They timed it perfectly. I think they timed that to perfection. It doesn't matter how well you start, people.
It's how well you finish.
How well you finish.
They gave it a crack.
And boy, oh boy, did they give Hawthorn hope. Just really, yeah. You know what's funny as well, just before we go on to number two, like I'd sit there and go, oh yeah, we bet North, but I'll go straight back and watch the last 2 minutes of last week.
You're like, you know what's good to watch, actually? TBJ's goal. We got
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that part in The Simpsons where, Homer's driving to Alaska and it's like, oh, that doesn't look like that. And then just puts the
map up on the fucking
That's exactly how I was.
You're like, ew, nah, I don't like that. Fucking DBJ's goal.
Yeah, no, thanks. That's all good. I'll take DBJ's soccer off the ground.
Yeah.
Who's your number two?
If you'd have told me at the start of the year that at this point this team would be second on the ladder and second in my power rankings, and like one of the four teams in the combo would have slapped your silly with the Essendon Football Club. I don't know what's going on out there. Don't know what's going on down at Windy Hill, but something has changed in that team. But I think, right, it's going to make me sound like I'm like a fucking messiah or whatever the fuck. But they always had the ability. It was always right there. Like, I think they have been underperforming for so long that when they had all the talent in front of them, people were still just like, nah. And now that they're playing good, people are like, oh, they're overperforming. No, I think they're performing right at where they probably should be. Well, probably a little bit higher, but like, they have had the talent. They have the likes of Zach Merritt, Andy McGrath, Darcy Parish, fucking Kyle Langford. They're back on there. Ridley. Like, they have the talent. Like, they have got the players for it. And now they're finally here. Like, Stringer as well. I've always said, when Jake Stringer is playing good footy, he is one of the best players in the competition. And he's finally starting to show that. Like, he's starting to show the fact that he can just, like, turn a game in seconds. And, like, he pretty much I'm not saying he won them the game on like last night, but without his first 3 goals, Richmond would have got out to a very, very quick start. He kicked the only goals in the first quarter for Essendon. Like, he is helping drag that team along as well, and they are playing very good. And Zach Merritt is playing very, very good football. And we're talking about a thing later on, and he was almost in there, but he's not quite. But like, I'm just saying, Zach Merritt is playing very good, and Essendon is playing very good football as well.
I think I can see that we're just going to have the same
Very similar
top
vibes.
four.
Uh-huh.
But my touch on that is, you look at a club like Essendon, and you're exactly right. They have that talent. They have everything. They've either had injuries or poorly timed their run. I think around 11, you get a good base on what they can produce. And I don't think anyone believes yet still.
No, there's still a lot coming. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't know what to expect. And it's always the second half of the year for Essendon. They've never been this high.
Mm-mm.
So I don't know if they're going to get altitude sickness or anything. And I'm not trying to be negative, but I'm trying to I want a bit more proof. But regardless, currently, if you have a team like Essendon playing that well, sitting second, I just think the belief that comes from that for the players, they never have thought they're a top four side. They don't have that belief. That's never been in their mentality. Once you start hitting into that mental state of, oh, we're here, they have that confidence and it goes up and up and up, and they'll eventually play a team like Sydney or a team like Carlton or a team like Collingwood, and they'll win that big game.
Mm-hmm.
And it will just be like, all right, they've arrived.
Yeah, to the moon. And like, I saw a thing today as well. It's the longest unbeaten run they've had since 2000. It's the highest part of the year, like the highest they've been on the ladder since 2001, like at this point of the year. Great stuff, right? However, there is this thing in the back of my mind, which is the funniest thing that I could possibly think of is they finish top two, they get a home qualifying final, and they still manage to not win a final. In the back of my head, right? That is the funniest possible outcome that could ever happen out of this. And I'm just slightly like, that could be really funny. Like really fucking funny is they finish top two and still manage to go out in straight sets. I'm like, it's almost funny to the point where you're like, I am so sorry, Essendon fans, because that is rough. Like that is hard to deal with.
But it's just like you bring it up and it's like, yeah, that's bad, but like, you really want it to happen?
Surely not, though, right? Like, surely that can't happen.
I don't like Essendon. But also, yeah, that's imagine that. Essendon and Port go out in straight sets.
Beautiful stuff. I mean, at least you're not like, I mean, like, it's been Melbourne the last couple of years where they've just been like the straight sets victims. Maybe Melbourne's idea was to just stop finishing top four. Maybe they're like, all right, let's time our run a little bit, lose a couple early games, finish sixth, and then just power our way through to a grand final.
I don't know what the method is anymore.
No, I don't know either.
Good luck to Essendon, anyway. I guess we know what number one is then.
And I don't even have that much to say about them either. They're good at football. Yeah.
You had you had who I think you had too, did you?
Yeah, at Richmond. Yeah. They don't know what to say about them. No, the Swans. We've all got the Swans. Everyone has the Swans. There's not much to say about them either. It's a really weird case of right now they might have two of the top three Brownlow favorites playing at the same time, which is really weird, which then makes me think that the third one's going to get it because they're just going to keep taking votes off each other. But it's a really rare case, and yeah, they're very good at football. I don't know what to say.
I reckon, and I completely agree. I have nothing bad to say about the Swans, but is it one of those cases of they're peaking now instead of
They're doing a Melbourne?
Are they doing? I mean, we've seen teams dominate full seasons and go on. I mean, Collingwood did it last year. Melbourne did it a couple of years ago. Like it happens. Richmond did it. Like it's not uncommon.
No.
There's always every other team is sort of battling it out to be that second or third ranking. Just think, if you were to sit here right now, you're saying the grand final is probably Sydney versus Collingwood. That's what I'd put it down to.
I like that. Yeah, I like that.
But it's just things are funny at round 11.
The only thing that worries me slightly about Sydney is what has worried me about Melbourne for the last 3 years is that their forward line, right? They've got a really massive spread of goal kickers right now. If you'd have told me at this point of the year that Will Hayward would be leading their Swans goal kicking, you'd have been like, what? But like all of their, like they've got a bunch of goal kickers all in like a 5 goal span of each other. Like Will Hayward, Warner, Heaney, Papley, and then I think Amadi's up there as well. The only issue that I have with Sydney is I've had it with Melbourne a little bit is that they don't have that spearhead forward. They don't have that kind of like if all else fails, kick it to this bloke kind of thing. Players are playing like that. Like Warner is just turning games on his head. Heaney can obviously do that all the time. Papley, we know what he can do. But it's like I want them to have that key forward. And I don't know why that's just in my brain because Collingwood won a premiership last year without that big spearing key forward. So it can happen. But I think it's just because I've seen it happen in Melbourne so many times that they get to this point and then collapse in finals because they just haven't got that big man. I worry, but I think they're going to be okay. Purely because the cattle around him is very, very good.
Yeah. Something about having a McDonald as a spearhead key forward that just worries me a little bit though.
When you've got McLean, McDonald, and Joel Amadi as your big three, you're a bit like
Just Joel and Marty does he feel like he's missing out a bit? Like should it be Joel Mick Marty or something
Joel
like
Amadi.
that? Mick Marty, just he doesn't have the Mick
No,
factor.
he needs it. Oh well, that's fine. Food for thought.
I thought that'd be funnier than what it was, but anyway.
Food for thought, Joel Amadi. Try and change your name. Maybe you want a premiership.
Or don't. Like
Going pretty well so far. Maybe
I think we're all about individualism here at the glass table. So anyway, once you can kick a snag from 45 on the fly, just let us know, champion.
Oh fuck.
Anyway, just before we get into the rest, because we're calling this the halfway episode, even though it's around 11 and there's 24 episodes.
Yeah.
I didn't really think that through, but
no.
Everyone gets a bye, so technically they play 23.
So we're about right. Ish.
We've always been an ish podcast.
We do it rough. We're doing rough estimates.
I'll just give you a couple of updates before we get into the halfway awards, which I'm sure everyone's thrilled to listen to. Baba Cho and Mitch Lewis update for you for playing at home. 17 goals on their way to 75. Baba Cho is on 14 of those 17, which is very funny to me. But I saw last week at the Adelaide Oval, he did one of those, and I thought it was quite funny because I thought he was doing it at the Port fans. He was actually giving it to you.
Look, Mabior, mate. You're still a long way away from your needed total. You need another 58 in a bit over half season. Good luck. If you do it, congratulations. I don't know, but like clearly you're not getting any help, so it's all up to you, mate. Have fun. Don't let Gunston keep kicking all the snags though. He kicked 4 today. 2 of them could have been yours. You could have just taken them from him. Really would have boosted your numbers. It really would have boosted your numbers, but no, had to be selfless.
Anyway, that's not happening. So let's move on from that. Well done, Hawthorn, obviously. Tips update as well, because this is the one I'm very, very interested in. So as you know, that at the end of the year, whoever has the discrepancy between the tips owes them the same amount of beers. Currently, we're sitting at myself 65.5 tips. Obviously, with the draw, we get half.
Yep.
I'm at 65.5, and you're at 57.5.
I've been awful at tipping this year. My tipping has been bad. Yeah, really bad.
Haven't been so bad. I mean, you've been overseas and everything. Like, I'm keen to see how you go in the second half of the year. I don't think
a long way to come back.
I don't think you give yourself enough credit. But
It's
yeah, anyway, currently it's 8 beers.
It's a long crawlback. For 8 beers is a lot of beers too, and I had a bad first 3 weeks, like a really bad first 3 weeks. I went 2-3-2, like it was awful, and I think from there it just fucked me. So I was just like,
I think I'm starting to feel like I care about these beers a little bit more.
No, I care. And I am gonna do everything in my power. What I'm gonna need you to do is send me who you're tipping in advance so that I can tip against
Ah, yeah.
to see if I can bring that number back.
Yeah, so that's what you're blaming it on. All right, okay. Just because I sit there in the sweatshop and make the graphics and shit and I ask for your stuff doesn't mean that it's cheating. Anyway, that's an update brought to you by no sponsor. So it's very weird that we grabbed our, yeah,
Yeah, well, I was thinking because it was beers, so
got the recovery.
you couldn't look at a beer right now.
I look at the Corona and go, yeah, I could. And then I'd be like, no, I couldn't.
As soon as I touch your lips, you'd be like, nah, not
I had
happening.
a lot of vodka Red Bulls last night. It was I'm gonna die soon, I reckon. Just the heart rate gets too high, especially after DBJ. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Hope pacemakers are cheap. Anyway, halfway awards.
Yes,
You have said we should do Brownlow, Rising Star, and Most Improved.
yes, yes,
So do you want to kick it off with your Brownlow at the halfway point?
yes.
Already.
Well, there was probably three that I was thinking, and two are from the same team as I was saying before. And I've decided to go with one a little bit different, but I was just the way it is, right? The way I'm thinking of my Brownlow is I know the umpires do it very differently, but like for me, like some of the best players in the AFL, and like that's why Crack has been so good, like in the last few years, why Bond's been so good. It is a powerful midfielder that can kick goals, right? Track obviously is one. Bont is another. Dusty was doing it for a long time. A powerful midfielder that can kick serious goals is like all you need in a footballer. Like that is the I say like the next generation of like who is going to be the most incredible players. Cripps does it as well. So Chad Warner at this point of the year is the guy.
Yeah.
He kicked four on the weekend and he has a consistent like 25. That man kicks absolute bags of goals. He kicked more goals than Heaney this year. He's like I think he's second for the Swans goal kicking. He's a very, very good footballer. And he's so good out of the contest. He's got really good skills. I think people this year thought it was going to be like Errol Gould's time to shine. He's been good as well, absolutely. But I think Warner has taken that step that has proven himself to be that guy for Sydney. So I've gone with Chad Warner as my Brownlow.
I really like that. And I think it's the fact that his last month or so has definitely came into play. Um, but like mine, I just sit here and go, everyone's talking about how he's the greatest greatest ruckman of all time. We're talking about his legacy more so than the fact that if you look at every Melbourne win this year, Max Gawn is getting 3 votes. You can't tell me that. I mean, Track might get a couple.
Yeah.
Oliver has done nowhere near as much. I don't think Viney's stealing votes. I'm talking games like today against the Saints, he gets 3 votes. Games against Port Adelaide, he gets 3 votes. Even like against Carlton, like
Yeah.
they came back. He was very good. I don't think we're giving him enough credit for votes. And I know Ruckman don't get votes, and I'm trying to be a little bit different here because I think everyone's going to have the same people in the same conversation. But I don't see why we can't have a Max Gawn receiving. I mean, you need someone very, very tall to get on top of it.
Like
But like, I just
Lockie Neal trying to get up on a step ladder, give him his medal.
oh, that'll be so funny. Just walks out with his ladder in the middle. That's very funny to picture. Does the AFL have a ladder sponsorship? Far out, that'd be funny. But yeah, I think Max Gawn is a smoky so far. That's my pick. I like to be a bit different because everyone's going to say the same thing.
No,
But
I like that. That's what I'm saying. Like with like mine, like I don't know if Warner's going to get it because I don't know if that's what the votes will go. Like that's the same thing with Max Gawn. I think he has been one of the best players in the league this year, and that's a perfect thing. If people have been talking about his legacy more than we're talking about right now, like people right now, every time he does something, he's like, "Is he the best ruckman to ever play the game?" Firstly, probably. Secondly, let's just talk about like right this very second when he is like dominating games like today, where you put Max Gawn and Rowan Marshall up against each other, two of the best rucks in the competition. They're like, oh, here we go. They're going to battle it out. Rowan Marshall gets absolutely smacked around by him. Like, absolutely just taken, like, just smashed. and then everyone goes, "Oh shit, I forget Max Gawn is still that guy. Like he's
Yeah.
still that fucking impressive out there." And Rowan Marshall, while Rowan Marshall is great, absolutely, he's in that top tier ruckman. There's the top tier of ruckman, and then there's Max Gawn. You don't hit that. Like no one's hitting that. You're not going to hit that. He's a freak. I think other honorable mentions this year, you'd say Isaac Heaney is one of them. He's having his best year by far. Zach Merritt, who I said before as well, is Essendon's very good, and he's probably the reason why they're so good. Freak.
Yep.
And then there's a few other players you could sprinkle in and around there to go with it. Likes of Dane Zorko, which is really interesting as well. He'll be polling like pretty high because Neil's been like I think Zorko's going to get most of those sort of votes this year. Like little smokies here and there like that'll be getting other ones, but I think like Heaney and Merritt are probably the other two that you could probably put around there. But yeah, I think Gawn and Warner are two very, very good ones.
I think Dacos will probably, if Collingwood keep winning, he'll probably end up polling. And I don't want to throw his name in there because, everyone brings it up, but I think he'd probably be one. And maybe Sam Walsh as well, since coming back, has probably had a very, very good few games, getting ones and twos. But, yeah, we talk about young stars, and, well, there's probably only one rising star, but I'm sure we've got a case for some others. So, and that's our next award. So, who's the rising star so far after 11 rounds, halfway?
Well, we know who the main one is, and we know the one that's going to win it. Even if for the rest of this year he was probably shit, they will probably give it to him anyway. But Harley Reid is the obvious one, as we know. But there is a case for a lot of other players going around that have had really good years. In a very biased point of view, I know we've been bad, but Darcy Wilson has been really good for us. He had like when we were okay, like sort of from like round 2 to like 5, 6, where we were still an all right team. He was playing really good football. And so I like in a very biased way, Darcy Wilson could be one of those guys that would be up in that sort of high bit. And he's playing every game, like he's not going to get dropped. He'll play every game. He'll play pretty consistently for us. And he plays a good role with us. Like, he plays on that wing with a lot of quick players around him that help him with his ball use, like Hill and Henry and stuff. Like Darcy Wilson for us anyway is a guy that is a very good, he's a very good footballer. Won't win Rising Star, but he's high up there because Harley Reid is Harley Reid, and we gotta go past him. So
I think and I put down. I know everyone was going to pick Harley Reid, but I put down. I love this bloke's work. I don't know. I don't know if it's just because I've watched him consistently because he's in my fantasy team, but Sam Darcy is
oh yeah.
exquisite. Like I think, he's very similar to his dad. They've both done pretty much the same amount in their career. Both haven't won a premiership yet, but like I think, I think.
I think you say yet, like Luke Darcy's going to make a miraculous return and come back and win the Dogs of Fame.
I don't know. You might have a Darcy tag team title going on somewhere. I'm not sure. But like I think the way he's got forward craft, I think he's taken a lot of heat off of Norton and Ugelhagen and almost become equal to how many times the Dogs target them going inside 50. But his work around the ground is second to none. His ruck craft is pretty good. I saw him give candy to a Swans player the other night, and I sat there going, "You're a freak."
Yeah.
No 200+ centimeter players giving candy that quickly too.
Mm.
Like I'm so impressed the way he's been going about it, and there's no slowing him down.
No, especially now Norton, as of this episode, I don't actually know what the full details. I know about the ACL, but Norton was injured on Thursday night, which means Darcy's going to get even more of a go. He's a very good utility player. Like he was playing a lot of backline for the Footscray VFL before he was getting a gig at AFL level. He can play, like you said, he can play in the ruck. He's very good around the ground, and that adds so much to him. To completely shit on our star key forward in Max King, right? Max King is 200 centimeters, and he's been very slow this year. Like he gets the ball, but when he gets it, he can't move as well as people had hoped he can. You look at a player like Darcy, he gets the ball and he can go. He is quick, and he's got a good sidestep on him, good feet. He's got all the makings of that next generation where he can put him fucking anywhere on the field and just hope, really. That's what I'm hoping that a player like Mitch Owens for us turns into, where he can be that really tall midfielder, a backup ruck if he needs, forward, back, whatever. He's got that, and he's got all the blueprints for it. I love Sam Darcy. I do. He's a great footballer.
Yeah, been one for me that I sit there around at the pub with teammates and stuff. I'm just throwing names at the dartboard, and I'm just like, Sam Darcy's
Sam Darcy.
back in my day, I had Luke, and to that, the fact that I get to see the next generation.
Always nice.
I think you would have been. I don't think you were born when Luke Darcy retired, but
I don't know how young you think I am.
I know how young you are. It's the whole point of the joke, Jared. Unbelievable. Anyway, I think you need to improve a few things, but we can speak about most improved for the year so far.
Good segue.
Full of them at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who's been your most improved this year so far?
I really, really wanted to put Jake Wardham into this, right? I really wanted to put Wardham into this. I decided against it because I've gone with a bloke that I think has actually been really good because his career had every opportunity to be done. His career had every opportunity to have fizzled out as of last year, and he'd be playing probably some local league, getting paid a lot of money and playing very well. But he reinvented himself under Damien Hardwick and under the new Gold Coast Suns, who are very, very good. Alex Sexton, right, has played fantastic footy this year. He's playing in the back line now, getting off halfback, and he is racking in disposals. Him, Sam Flanders, that those sorts of players that are very Damien Hardwick players. They are quick movement, just constant pressure, constant ball use. Alex Sexton is playing that role. He used to be a forward, and like I remember he used to kick a few goals early in the year, and everyone's like, "Oh, maybe he's on for a good one," and then he would just fade off. But he's invented himself. He's decided, "Nah, throw me behind the ball. I'll just get a fuckload of it and just have fun." And he's playing good footy. So Alex Sexton, for me, I think is an out and out most improved.
I rate that. I remember the time we kicked 6 goals in a game, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god,
Yeah, and we're like, here he is.
you're going to be the medium sized forward."
Yep.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. For me, didn't really think about it too much,
That's fair.
but I think he deserves a mention. And he played his 50th game on the weekend. I think the way people still hate on Jason Horne-Francis and the way he is now doing, we speak about track, we speak about the goal kicking forwards and Warner. He's on that 2 goal a game, 24, 25 touches. I don't think I've seen a player who can literally just grab the ball, put it on their foot without looking and hit a 15-minute target so cleanly.
Good footballer. Very good footballer.
He is probably Port Adelaide's best player right now in terms of impact and in terms of just oozing quality.
Yeah.
We throw Butters and Rosie obviously in the mix. It's like they're names now, but like the way they're the horny one gets going.
Me too, would say. Yes.
We could change it to most horny, but I don't really think we can do that.
We have a whole other segment that's basically that, so we can pass this one.
Yeah, but he's already been mentioned in that segment. But yeah, I mean, Horne-Francis is probably my clear one, but that's just a little bit of biasness. You can throw countless amount of names, I think, into this conversation for each club. Like,
100%.
I look at Essendon, and you look at the teams that are rising. Freo, I think, like you look at a player like Jeremy Sharp has been unbelievable on the wing. Gold Coast have had, like you mentioned, Flanders and Sexton. Like Essendon have had countless amounts of others. I think, there's just a lot of players out there, but I'm being biased, and it's my podcast and my TV show, my fucking channel.
It's been a long Sunday. But no, I like it. Even without the Port bias, I think Horne-Francis is taking that step up to be that next midfielder. To the point now where Port's midfield mix is a fucking scary sight because you've got the outside runners that you need, but you've also got that. You've got like an inside, you've got an outside, and you've got the goal kicker, and in the three that's in the midfield, and that's just scary. It's a terrifying sight, and it's a main mixes to why Port are so good right now.
Then you throw out like the outside wingman, like you just Burgoyne cemented his spot. And most improved is another one, Burgoyne.
Yeah,
I won't say Boak's most improved. He's been doing it for the last 20 odd years, but like
I was going to put Brad Hill in mine. Brad Hill's is like a bit of a roller coaster.
I don't understand like how Trav is just sitting there going, "I'm 35 years old."
Put me on a wing.
Still has his hair. He's had 12 marks, 25 touches. God damn, you sexy man. Anyway, uh, did you know he hasn't kicked a goal this year? 0 goals, 9.
0-9. Really?
Yeah, 0 goals, 9.
It's a good way to a good way to segue. That's actually very interesting though. I know what the segue is for the next segment, but I'm more bewildered by the fact that he's kicked 0-9, to be honest.
I've just definitely realised that I was segueing that. I didn't intend it. I had no idea.
It
I just thought it was a very funny stat.
is a funny stat, but it's also a good segue into our
But he hasn't kicked a winner. But I know someone who has kicked a winner.
there it is. Yeah.
Someone like DBJ.
Mhm.
Yep.
The question this week that we've had was, what is the greatest goal you've ever seen live at the ground? Had to be there in the stands. I used the Leon Davis goal against Freo as an example because I was calling Freo that day. You had a few that you'd like to touch on, I'm sure.
Me personally, or the people that commented?
I mean, you personally first, if you'd like to go first.
Far out. Let me tell you what I've had. I could rattle them off. Like I just Motlop's winner,
Mhm.
Robbie Gray's tap from Paddy Ryder. There's just been certain goals that have been kicked. I think Robbie, it was a goal by like anything that Robbie Gray's done is exceptional.
Mhm.
I think though the DBJ goal is right up there. I don't know. Like it's hard. There's so many goals kicked in front of me.
See, you've got the opposite problem to me. I, for the life of me, couldn't figure out very many like out and out outstanding goals that have been kicked like in the time that I've been just like at the footy and stuff like that. Like, off the top of my head, there isn't that many that I've got just like loaded up. I've got a lot of like a few moments and stuff that's like that's pretty cool. Like for me, like one of like Riewoldt goal in the prelim final against the Dogs, where it's just like an absolute scramble and he just manages to just get his toe to it and it just like takes the line. Like that's cool in like it's tough because of the absolute mess of goals that was happening at the time, mess of people that were happening at the time, but like the actual difficulties and all that. One that sticks to my mind is I can't remember what year it is, but it's Saints versus Cats and it's on a Friday night at Marvel. We are very bad. Cats are very good. And a 19-year-old Jade Gresham gets the ball in the pocket,
Oh
shrugs the
yeah.
tackle, and kicks this snap. And I can't remember who's commentating. All I know is Cameron Ling was on commentary because I watched it back, and he fucking sounds pissed. But like, Gresham shrugs off this tackle, almost falls over, recalms himself, kicks this snap, and like I remember being at that end of the ground, losing my fucking mind because it was really late on and we won. And like that's the one that comes to my head is like him doing that, and he was like a nobody at the time. And it was just like, he just like fucking lost it. And beating the Cats is obviously it's one of the biggest. Like beating the Cats is one of the better teams you like to beat. And so when that happens, and we weren't very good, and they were very good, it was just all very nice.
That's very obscure, and I really
Yeah,
like that.
really obscure, I know, but yeah, it's stuck in my brain.
I just now I want to think about like obscure goals.
Hmm.
Like, we
Just a
throw
good,
in winners. Like you can say best goal you've. It depends on the occasion, the emotion.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
if you're talking about a dribble kick that's right from the pack, like I could name you 10.
Yeah,
Not to be cocky, like
it
just
just happens.
but like set shot goals from tight angles or moment goals. I think someone mentioned in there like the last year's goal from Rosie in the wet with the pickup from Horn Francis. Um, there's I think each goal sort of is different in their own way, but yeah, now I'm trying to go back to Amy Stadium days.
Well, I was just reading here some of the ones we got to the Angus Monfries showdown at Amy Stadium where,
Oh yeah,
of course,
now
of course, yeah. But that's not like an obscure one. That's a very, very famous one because of just yeah.
that that goal, right? I was literally in the seat that is you could get the ruler out and perfectly measure the angle that I could see that ball bounce and straight in. Like it went through the middle. And
Like
I'm
directly
just
at you.
there.
It's like a
Yeah,
magnet to
like
you.
it was
Yeah.
aimed for me.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you, Monfries kicked that on the left and it was like meant to bounce into my arms.
Bounce.
Like
Yeah.
that kind of I don't know if he meant it, but it's But like that's the seeing that like it's things like that you just remember. It's like remember that perfect angle,
Yep, you know
perfect
exactly.
moment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, there's that. Obviously, you've said a few of these to the Robbie Gray against us, which is as it is. Rosie against Melbourne last year, DBJ, obviously. You know what I find really funny, right? So going on to Twitter, I've put this as a question. I think they're acting like I have this affinity for Leon Davis because someone's then responded to be like, "How many touches did you have in the 2002 grand final?" And I'm like, I don't care. Like,
Nah, see, I like that because he's still holding a vendetta against him.
that must be a hardcore Lions fan who's like, "Yeah, mate, how many touches did you have in the fucking 2002 grand final?" It's like, mate, you won. Relax. Like,
The Lions fan commenting on a moment that happened between Freo and Collingwood.
all right, thanks, Billy. Really appreciate that.
Billy for his input.
But this one from Dave Lloyd says Hodges. Right
This would
now,
be
I was going to
Port
say,
Adelaide.
is this your Hodges? The one I think I saw Hodge, and my immediate reaction was that Hodge goal in the grand final, his check side. I think that's one of the best grand final goals ever, but it's very low key because it was against West Coast and they were killing them. Like,
Now, grand final goals is another topic because it's just like, do you sit there and go, is something like, and I'm sorry to bring this up, but is the play the best goal or is it the actual goal? Because you sit there and go, I think it was Langford in the 2014 one, dribble from nothing.
Yep.
Or you sit there and go, is the tap from Scarlett to Ablett to Chapman to goal? Is that?
Is it the
I think
boy?
one of the 6 goals that we kicked in 2007 is a good one.
Is that it? Is that the one?
Sean Burgoyne, I think, ran from the wing to kick us back within 120.
And you were fucking up and about.
I think the multi was over by then. I was only 10, but
But I don't know.
I had Sean for 1+.
Yeah. And sure enough.
Fredders for 2+. He did it.
Nice.
Can't remember much more, to be honest.
Block the rest out of your brain. But yeah, no, I get that. Grand finals are and everything as well because like the goals seem so much better on the grand final stage. Good example is Boyd's goal, right? There is goals kicked from like near the center square or like from outside 50 almost every time. But because it's the Boyd goal where it's the tackle that leads up to it first, Dale Morris tackling Buddy, and then Boyd picking it up and then kicking it from there, and then the fuck, right? Like there's that whole thing. But like in a normal game, it's like, oh, that's a nice goal. Like, yeah, good goal, Boyd. In a grand final, though, it's like, holy, like it's just people losing their mind. It's again, the goals are about the occasion more than anything else. If Gresham had kicked that goal in the first quarter and we were down 6 goals, it would have been like, yay, good work, Jade, because he'd won us the game. We were like, like, come the fuck
on. Yeah, no, I haven't. Yeah. I don't think any of Port Adelaide's 6 goals had that moment in them in the grand final. But no, I completely get it. Like, I think someone on Instagram actually commented about Buddy's goal that they saw
down the wing.
I was there against the Crows. I was supporting Sydney, just FYI.
Yeah, where he bounces it and almost slips away, almost gets away from him.
Oh, and it's just like everyone talks about the Kale Hooker chase and everything like that. We got sort of our own in a sense.
Yeah.
Nowhere near as good, I don't think, because I feel like it was watered down a little bit. But yeah, like you get that and it's like, holy shit, that is someone you don't support nor watch often. But when you see it, you gotta watch it back over and over. And it's even funnier that it was in front of Crows fans.
Always the way. Well, that's like me. That was like me for last year with Gather Round when I saw Boak's goal in the wet against the Dogs. Like, I don't go for the there it is. I don't go for Port. I don't go for the Dogs. But I got to. Oh, here we go. But I got to sit there and watch that and went, yeah, like that was a great goal.
You can continue on. I want to hear more.
Yeah, well, it was just a good goal.
So does he.
But yeah, it's ones like that, which is always good.
Thank you, Jared. I really appreciate your comments.
Oh, fuck. But yeah, no. Other ones on Instagram we got. What do we got? I mean, we got a message here, but again, another Port Saints one because they just seem to have it all the time. But Wanganeen snap in 04 from distance because and that literally it says because what we were just talking about based on what it ultimately achieved. gets you in the grand final. That's what it is.
Thanks to the Creed for sending that in, and I really like that he started with "Sorry, JT."
Sorry, JT. Yeah. See, I appreciate that he is respectful of me. Again, I was 2 at the time, doesn't really bother me that bad. But like, yeah, it's still nice to.
See, you wouldn't remember that, and you wouldn't remember Luke Darcy. I'm
Oh, of
telling you.
course. Yeah.
You know what?
She's gonna be
It's
telling me like, you remember Matt Spanger? I'm like, of course I do. Fucking Matt Spanger is. Fuck me.
there's a throwback. Uh, you want to talk about winning points? Like, I think we could throw in Robbie Gray's match-winning point in Cairns.
No. See, I don't. Oh, I want to talk about winning points. Let's talk about Barry Breen, 1966, right? The wobbly punt that just scrapes over the line. I remember that like it was yesterday.
Let's talk about points, right? Last week at the Adelaide Oval, let me tell you, Will Day rushed her behind, right? And that gave us 2 shots at goal. And we won by 1 point because DVJ socketed it off the ground and the Socceroos still haven't come calling.
Robbery, I say. Robbery.
For who?
DVJ.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were going to say Hawthorn. I was like, no.
No, I mean a robbery for DVJ. He should have a second career already building, but no, that's fine.
Yeah.
Bloody Barry Breen. Anyway.
That should be our next one. Talk about points. What's the best point you've seen?
Yeah, best handy point.
Handy point.
Mm.
Any others?
Well, we had one from Jono, which is one that gets replayed over and over again every single round one, which is Chris Yaron in round 1, 2012. It's the one that you always see where he runs and then it's the classic Bruce commentary in the background. It's a classic round 1 moment. And then he also says here a couple of Eddie Betts specials because Eddie Betts just does that all the time.
I saw the one he kicked against. This was in a period where I was just going to Crows games.
Yeah, just going to games. Good, yeah.
I was doing like you last year and just trying to get as many in as possible. The one he kicked against GWS, I think it was 2017.
Is that the barrel one, or is that the
Nah,
snap?
so the barrel one was against
One where it
Freo.
keeps it in the
There was the snap one on his left. It was late in the game.
Yeah.
And he did it. And like you just sit there. And obviously we've seen showdowns and shit. Like it's pretty good.
Those 2 goals from Eddie Betts are 2 of my favorite goals ever because it's just like, but like that's stupid. Like that barrel one, a left foot barrel, not looking at the goals, and like just who does that? Who even thinks like, yeah, this will go in if I just get it down there, it's
in the wet.
Yeah, and then the snap one is so good because of the way he like holds it against the ground, spins around it, and then it keeps going. I'm like,
You'd never catch me doing that in a game.
No, absolutely not.
And if I did, I would definitely show you the footage.
Yep. Oh yeah, I'd be expecting it the moment the game ended.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool. Is there any other comments you got?
I was going to try and see if I could segue into the next one, but that's what I thought you were trying to do. So I held back.
I was just making sure that we covered all bases. Okay. Sometimes you go to first base. Sometimes you go to second base. Sometimes you go to third base. And eventually you get to a segment called Stupid Sexy. Did you like that one or?
Here we are.
Jared didn't like that one.
I did. It was good.
Okay. Improve on episode 47 and a half. Anyway, let's get to Stupid Sexy.
Stupid sexy.
AFL players.
All right, so we're going to do another Stupid Sexy. I don't know. We're not really bringing it back to AFL players, but I think we've got a couple that could be AFL players this week.
Yeah. That's interesting. You've also got the same vibe that I have in this, I think.
Well, with both. Stupid Sexy vibe.
Yep.
About us. Trying to make this not weird.
It was weird last time. It's going to be weird every time. Don't worry about that.
It's been weird for about the last 47 times. So
yeah, no point changing it now. Why would we? May as well stick with the formula that works best.
Stick with the men then.
The men, as we say.
Oh, good form. All right, do you want to kick us off?
I do. So you kind of got out a little bit with we have some players that could be AFL players, and I've decided to go with one this week. Because it just seems like the entire football world will not stop talking about this man. And for good reason too. Uh we've spoken about it this episode, funnily enough. But this man,
Jace Burgoyne, eh?
Jake Waterman, right? No,
Oh, wow. My
so,
about Shoal.
so he's
Barry Breen.
oh, fuck. I should cry. Oh, it was really funny. Oh, fuck, this segment got derailed so fast. That was the quickest it's ever been derailed. We haven't even got to any of the names yet. Holy shit. Oh my God. That was really funny.
Anyway, back to the
Anyway,
play.
this guy looks exactly how 15-year-old JT wanted to look and was doing his absolute fucking hardest to get to. Long, flowing blonde hair, good at football, just breaking packs like nobody's business. Harley Reid, right? You can't go past him. That man, he suits the colors really well as well. I would have said this like a few weeks back, but like when West Coast wore that retro jumper that day, it was the day that Harley Reid kicked his first goal. I was like, "Fuck, that's pretty good. That looks pretty good." Harley Reid is the stupid sexy player for me this week because he is one the most popular man in football right now. Two, one of the better players going around right now, and three, very very stupid sexy.
A lot of comparing you to Harley Reid in the last 48 hours.
That time was me saying how that's exactly how I was trying to look when I was 15. When I was like, yeah, let's go the shoulder length blonde hair, JT. That's the way to go here.
Did you have the black headband?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my God, did you?
I was a black headband operator. I
Can
was
I
a
have the photo? I need a photo.
I will find a photo.
I need to do the comparison. Yeah, that is the content this week. I don't care about anything else. I need that photo. That's your job this week.
Yeah.
You have nothing else.
I'm on it. Just find that photo.
Find that photo. Understandable, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Very funny. I'm also going out west, and I have also mentioned in this podcast, which is very funny. And I don't know how to word this because I never really pictured it.
Mm-hmm.
But he ran into my heart, and he likes running.
I
And he was put on the back page of the WA paper, and I was like, yeah, don't do that. That's shit paper anyway. Jeremy Sharp is a fine looking gentleman,
Yes.
and I think his season has enhanced his appearance to me because you never really seen like Gold Coast when he was running around, he would set unbelievable times and stuff, but you'd never really seen him play football. But now he's just going up and down up the stadium, doing his thing.
Looking stadium, good looking bloke.
Unfortunately, missed. There's things to improve. Unfortunately, missed late, but I don't mind a stupid sexy project. I think we can work with that. And
he's the next generation of stupid sexy.
yeah, so I'm looking into the future again.
Pick some young stars to really build up the next generation here. Last year we had a habit of picking some older blokes. Like we went with some older blokes late on. I think we've decided to move back now and we're going for the next generation of stars.
Oh no, I still got Bailey Humphrey's license, so it's it's still I'm pushing limits, no doubt. But like we're going still just yeah, like we're really I'm sorry to pun, but we've been sharp this episode. Like it's
You're real sharp. That fucking I'm still thinking about the Barry Brain thing, if I'm being honest.
you know us and stupid sexy, we like being quick, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's certainly one of the segments of all time.
I like that it's described as one of.
One of the segments of all time.
There is not anything you can put it, no bracket.
Nah,
It is just one of.
one of the. Yeah.
So yeah, we've gone Jeremy Sharp and Harley Reid to bring us back. Both back in Australia. Well, I'm still here, but you're
I
back
was
in
going to say
Australia.
both back in Australia. Yeah.
Oh, you can come Adelaide, but yeah, but got nothing else to add to that, to be honest.
I think that's it. Oh man.
Well, obviously we'll end it, but I like to do that thing now where at the end of the show we can be like, what have we learnt tonight? Like Craig Ferguson. I always like that segment, and the cat would walk in. I don't have a cat. I
No.
don't have that kind of editing.
I just looked around my room looking for a cat.
I do have Red Frog.
Close enough. I have.
So we could be like, do you want to be friends?
Please sponsor us.
It's yours, Alan's.
No, what is that? Oh no, Sapachki's I think is natural confectionery. No, it's Mondelez. I don't know what that is.
Don't eat the dinosaur, Daddy.
Oh yeah. How's that for an ad?
Can't get any better than that.
Oh, I thought you were going to use it to tell our story, not just.
Hang on, let me get his cousin. So tonight on the show.
This is very Sesame Street.
We've learnt a lot of things, haven't we, Froggy? We've learned that we have no idea how to end these, and I'm just going to press the button before we embarrass ourselves anymore. What do you think of that, Jared?
That's great.
See you next week.